Constance, did you die? Like, did you die, sis? Nope, your girl is very much alive, but I did die in a sense because I died to my flesh, and I'm going to tell y'all exactly how that happened right now. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Constance, aka Brown Sugar Babe, and I'm back at it again with another sweet video. I know it's been so long since I came and kicked it with y'all. Your girl has been in the trenches with the Lord, okay? I had to get my life together. I'm gonna explain why in just a few moments, and it's nothing but blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings, okay? The girl has been completely in the dark since September 2019, and I came out of my spiritual sabbatical January 1st, 2020. So we here now. I know I didn't drop it right away. Okay, your girl had a lot going on, but I'm here now and we back and we better than ever, period. A spiritual sabbatical is kind of like an extended fast because you're seeking something from the Lord. You're seeking either his presence or a clear answer on something, or I don't know, you could be seeking anything. But your girl was seeking a lot of things. I was mostly seeking confidence and being who God called me to be and not being concerned about what that looks like to other people. Since 2018, God told me that 2020 was going to be a big year for me. He gave me vision after vision after vision of what's coming this year. And so I felt like it was super important for me to get into a position where I would be able to receive all those blessings that were coming my way. And I didn't want to receive in a place that I felt like, you know, I couldn't really give God the glory that he deserved. I felt like I had to prepare myself for all the things that were coming, and I knew that if I was not spiritually sound in these next few months, then I would have been thrown off my game. But, you know, basically God said, baby, it's your butterfly season, and so I had to stay in my cocoon for a little bit so that your girl can earn her wings or whatever for 2020. So now we here, your girl got her wing, and I'm gonna just tell y'all what happened. It was 124 days. It's a long time. It started off with a church food fast. I think we like weaned ourselves off of meals over the week. So I think it was like 21 days, and basically like the first week we only had 2 meals, and then like the second, third week we only had 1 meal, and then like the last 3 days we only had liquids or something like that. I think that's 21 days. Your girl don't do math, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it started with that, and I think when you're fasting with food rather, it makes it a lot easier to hear God clearly, because in the times that you're not eating, you're spending reading the word, you're spending like worshiping and getting close to God, and it's like you can hear him speak to you because your mind is not so boggled up by all the decisions that you have to make, including like, what am I going to make for dinner tonight, or like just filling yourself up with snacks when you're bored. You just kind of like zero in a little more. And so I feel like that was a really good thing for me to start off my spiritual sabbatical, because from there I was just able to continue on. Now, I didn't fast off of food the entire time. That was just for the month of September. But I wasn't listening to any secular music. The only thing I've been consuming for the last 4 to 5-ish months was Christian hip hop and R&B, as well as straight gospel music, you know, the old church hymns and everything like that. For some of y'all who don't know, okay, the Christian hip hop and R&B game is Liddy Bop. Gavi, he's like my favorite. Byron, another favorite. What Up RG, another favorite. 1K Few, another favorite. Like y'all, my playlist is popping right now. I wasn't drinking, I wasn't partying, I wasn't dating, I wasn't really taking in a lot of like reality TV. I wasn't on any social media at all. My cousin had got engaged just like around the only time that I popped on social real quick, because that's my baby and I needed to make sure that I captured the moment. But outside of that, I wasn't on social. What it consisted of every day for me was like, I would wake up, speak to the Lord, get in the Bible, pray. I would talk to God like all day long, y'all. You know, sometimes we feel like we have to like have something big to talk to God about, but I literally would talk to God all day about all the little things that was going on. I would be going to send an email at work, and I'd just be like, God, like, how you feel about this? Like, should I, like, I was really talking to him. Like, I'm like, player, like, how you feel? Like, what do you think? Like, what should I have for lunch today? And where should I go after this? And like, I was really just like, just being really intentional about talking to God, being in his face, being in his presence and feeling him all around me. You know, when I came home, I would pray again. I would worship for like an hour or two, and I would listen to, you know, my Christian music throughout the day. I would journal, and one of the things God told me to do was to journal every day, and then at the end of every month of my sabbatical to go back and reread what I had wrote so that I can see how far I came throughout the journey. I was back in ministry. Pretty much anything that consisted of like being super serious about God, that's what I was doing. If it had anything to do with going against him whatsoever, I wasn't doing it. Like as a Christian, especially when you're young, we take in a lot of imagery, we take in a lot of like negative and aggressive and like sexually infused things all day long. And so I wanted to kind of like block all that out, and I feel like it's super important as a Christian to watch what you're taking in visually, audibly. I don't know, audibly, I think that's the right word, audibly. Yes. Yeah, and just to watch all that stuff. So that's why I basically just shut myself off from the world. I felt like I needed to, so that it could just really be me and God. I know y'all like, Constance, okay, like we get it, like you was off the mat, like what did God say to you? Like pipe down, I'm about to tell you. One of the things that was super crazy for me was the fact that God, he is literally like right there, like he right here, like he's here, he's here, he's here, he's here, he's everywhere. I used to hear that and not necessarily feel that. And in my sabbatical, because I was seeking God so wholeheartedly, I was just on fire for him, I felt him everywhere. Like it's something that you have to like witness for yourself. I literally felt like I just had a protector like by my side. He was intervening for me the entire time. Like he would speak to me, like he would be like, Constance, today, you know, I want you to walk this path. Or tomorrow, I want you to talk to this person. And like, y'all, at first it was so scary because I'm like, is it just me? Like, am I just hearing this myself? As soon as I started listening and being obedient to what he was telling me to do, and seeing the results from it, it was like, yo, that's God. Like, it can only be God because it ain't me. Like, oh my God. It was the most amazing feeling because I never felt that. Like, I never really had that close of an intimacy or that level of intimacy like that with God. Other benefits from the spiritual sabbatical, I would say, is that like God gave me clear direction on what the vision was for 2020 and how to get there. And I know that at the core of it, he was really working me out in terms of my faith. It's easy to say like I trust God and I believe God, but it's harder to do when you're faced with trial and tribulations. Like it's very hard. During my sabbatical, this was a time where God was really like pressing me. Like he was growing me up in a lot of areas, making sure that when I walked into 2020 that I was going to be full of much more faith than I was previously, and to trust in what he had. During my spiritual sabbatical, something like unexpected happened to me. Do I want to talk about it? I mean, y'all kind of, if you follow me on the gram, then you kind of seen it. But, you know, I said that I wasn't dating, and I wasn't. And it was like, as soon as I just turned my attention to God and stopped focusing on dating, God just was like, there you go, sis. Like he just dropped a wonderful man into my life. I wasn't giving out my number, nothing, y'all. I was like, you can't talk to me. I'm on fire for God. Like, I don't want to talk to you. No. I was like, okay, sis. Boom, here you go. Drop me a whole man. So, everything that I prayed for, literally, still working on, like, trusting and believing 100% in it. I don't think I'm ever going to be 100%, but I will say that God was basically showing me that everything that I promised you, everything that you prayed for, it could be yours if you just focus on me. And so that's what I take from that. So shout out to my friend because he knows who he is. He knows who. During this time, my purpose was like laid out really clear for me. So I had this idea. I'm not gonna share that either, but this is the idea that I had, right? Boom. And then it was like, okay, well, how do I get there, God? Like, how am I supposed to go about this? A lot of y'all know that I was in a car accident in May. That was like my 6th car accident, y'all, and I just got tired of car accident. So your girl just been taking public transportation for the last few months. And I was like at first very like depressed about it. but I wanted to take it on as a challenge in order for me just to be more humble and learn how to move, learn how to navigate the city for real, because like I grew up kind of bougie, independent, and whatever I wanted I could get in a matter of seconds. And so I really feel like the reason why this happened was because God was trying to show me, like, sis, like, you need to depend on me, like, relax. I was taking public transportation, which means I was taking a lot of Lyfts and I was taking a lot of Ubers when the trains and the buses weren't running. And so boom, so I had this vision of what I should do, right? And I'm like, God, how am I supposed to go about it? And literally every single time, your girl got in an Uber, my purpose was revealed, like, over and over. It just kept getting confirmed. When I was taking those Ubers and taking those Lyfts, like, even though I was dumb annoyed, because Lyft and Uber, y'all be getting on my nerves. Like, I realized that God strategically placed me in those Ubers and Lyft. I would get in the Uber quiet, minding my business, and like literally like every single Uber driver and Lyft driver that like encountered me during that time, they literally would just be like, is it okay if I vent to you? Like, you seem like a kind spirit. Like, it feels like I can ask you a question, or it feels like I can talk to you. And I'd just be like, sure, okay. As they were talking and unloading and stuff like that, like, God was literally speaking to me. Like, he's like, tell them about me. Pose this question. Ask them why they feel like this. And ask them, do they love the Lord? And I was like, yo. And every single time I got out of the car, yo, I just was so blessed. And because I could tell that, like, our interaction, our encounter just blessed them so much. I had people say they was coming to the church. I had people like give me their number. We exchanged numbers so I can check on them. I've had like men just be like, you changed my perspective on celibacy, and you changed my perspective on God and how to maneuver in relationships. Like, it was the craziest thing. Every single one, y'all. I lied to you or not, every single one. Now just Uber ministry, like, but that's what I felt. I felt like an Uber ministry. Like, it was the craziest thing. And it was like, yo, every time I did it, I was like, wow, God, because like, here I go. Like, I was just minding my business. I'm just hopping in the Uber. God was just like, yo, pay attention. Like, pay attention to what I'm doing. And I remember it was this one particular encounter with this young lady. And I feel like, you know, my purpose has a lot to do with touching young women who are just struggling with confidence, like struggling to know who God is and who he's called them to be. And so my purpose, I always felt like, was always to uplift and women in some sort of way. I remember I was in the car and she was just really irritated and agitated, and I didn't ask her anything, you know, I just sat in the Uber or whatever, and she goes, how old are you? And I told her, I'm like, I'm 24. And she's like, oh, well, you might not be able to help me, I'm not really sure. And I was like, is there something that I can help you with? Like, what's going on? I think she was like 18 or 19 at the time. And so she started telling me about a problem that she was having with her family. She breaks it down, and we get close to my apartment, and I'm giving her advice, but the entire time I'm asking God, like, how he wants me to talk to her about it. Like, how should she move, Lord? Like, what should she say? What should she do? And I was being very mindful about what I was saying to her. And I remember at the very end, when she dropped me off, I was like, can I just get up front? Like, can I give you a hug? Can I pray with you? And she was like, it is just so crazy because like all day I just been thinking about how I need to go back to church. Literally, I was just looking for somebody just to help me. And like, God just sent you to me. And I was like, because you know, God be making them divine connections, baby. Like, he don't play. So I got in the front seat with her. I gave her the biggest big sister hug ever. And then we prayed. I prayed for her. I gave her my number. I told her where my church was. It was like God made it clear to me in that moment when I was worshiping and just thanking him for the encounter. He was like, this is why. This is why. This is why I brought you here. Because if you were never broke down, if you were never depressed and overcame it, if you never went through these issues with family and friends and all that stuff, how could you help that young lady? Every dark moment I ever been in made so much sense, and it broke me down. I cried like a baby, because I was like, wow, like God really does use everything for our good. And there's nothing that God won't do for you if you allow him. All he's doing is waiting on you. I did die. You won't see me doing certain things anymore, acting in a certain way anymore. You know, I'm still gonna make mistakes, because I know that it allows me to take it at face level and trust that God is moving and that something good is gonna come from it. All that being said, I thank y'all so much. I got so many people like who reached out to me asking if I was okay. And I appreciate y'all for reaching out to me, but your girl just had to get in the trenches with the Lord. And I'm so happy that I did, because just 4 months ago, I was a mess. Had to go through the growing pains, but I'm here now and I'm very thankful. So I'm happy to be back. Thank you for everyone who supported me. I'm glad to have all my sugar babies back and watching the channel, you know. I holla, y'all gonna see me very soon, and catch y'all in the next video. Bye.